Hello, everybody, ladies, gentlemen, colleagues. It's really a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you, ICH for giving me this opportunity. I was able to follow yesterday's sessions as well, and I found them very enriching. So I really appreciated the insights and the inputs that were posed by the discussant. As you told, I'm the director of this foundation, which is an NGO based in Torino. So I'm speaking from Torino, Italy, which now is a red zone because of the COVID emergency. Again, red zone after spring. We are a research foundation. We work on cultural economics, so the relation between economic development and culture in all its diverse expression, including obviously intangible cultural heritage. So what I'm going to present and our approach in general is about the economic viewpoint. Currently, we are working quite a lot in trying to face the data related to the COVID-19 crisis and its socioeconomic impacts, something that was also recalled during yesterday discussion. Certainly, we don't have solutions right now. We can face a strong push for innovation, and we can see a strong stress on the fragilities of our communities and society. So I'm going to present a case which we are working on, which is this one, a community based in the South-Western Alps. Okay, a couple of words about the context. We are here just to give you a figure on where we are on the border between Italy and France, in a mountain region, which is composed by many small municipalities, very small ones. This one, the picture you see here, is about Saluzzo, which is okay, I guess some of you came to Italy, but I'm pretty sure that none of you came to visit this place, because of course we are in a kind of, not really remote, but kind of a remote peripheric area. And yes, this is the biggest municipality, 17,000 inhabitants of the whole region. Regarding all the other villages, this is settled in the mountain. This is the situation. So this portion of the Alps is really affected by facing since a long time already by a strong depopulation trends. Many villages in this are in this situation. Just to give you a number, a figure, in Ostana, one of these villages, this is Pablo. This picture is of Pablo, the first child born in 2016 after 28 years. This is a village which counted 5 inhabitants till 10 years ago. But in this situation, in this area, recently, 2013 and 14, there were some initiatives to recover somehow, and one of them was to inscribe into the UNESCO network of Biosphere Reserve all this area, which is very large. As you can see from the map, it includes more than 100 municipalities between Italy, the blue side, and France, the green one. What about intangible cultural heritage? Well, it's an area in which intangible cultural heritage expressions, elements are very present, are very densely present. In particular, we talk about traditional dance, folk music, crafts, social rituals, and food making. Some of these expressions are already well recognized in national and international registers. like, for instance, the transhumance and the alpinism. They were both inscribed into the UNESCO representative list of intangible cultural heritage since last year. And another very strong tradition present in this area is about food. This is a picture of polenta, for those of you who know about it. And there is also there was a strong work in documenting all the practices, all the food-related practices in this area. Just to give you another input, we are very close to where the slow food movement was born. The municipality, the village, which is Bra, is exactly in this area. And what characterizes this area, this community, is the presence of this Occitan community, which is pretty famous, pretty known. It's not just about this area; it's between let's say, Spain and Italy. But the Italian portion of the so-called Occitan region, it's not a state, it's not a region, it's something defined by social and cultural features. So we are in this place. All these, these cultural expressions related to the Occitan culture are, of course, facing several challenges because of the population, because of the impacts of globalization. So let's say that they are, most of their expression, including language, actually they are really under pressure. Still, there are some very interesting initiatives to revive and somehow to recover this tradition, like the Occitamo in Italian festival, which is a music festival, and other initiatives related to young and to schools in particular, like this other Fai Ament Occitan Culture for School, this other initiative. But the question is, it's still very clear, and it's about the intergenerational transmission of all this knowledge, tacit knowledge, and traditions to the next generation, with all the consequent issues, and which are clearly stressed now by the critical emergency posed by the COVID-19. So the point is how to empower communities, and we as NGO started working through education with the local stakeholders, and in particular, that's why I mentioned that the Biosphere Reserve by UNESCO, in particular with the park authority. The park, not because of their managerial competence as a natural area manager, but because they are the institution able to dialogue with all, let's say, the communities present in this area. So thanks to a process of community participation, some successful initiatives were implemented. And I'm going to talk about this one, which was the one that we ideated and implemented starting from 3 years ago. It's a non-formal education program related to youth between 15 and 18, let's say 19 years old, with the goal of enhancing territorial resilience capacity, of accelerating communities' development, and trying to embed these two big goals within the transmission of cultural practices. It works through interactive learning activities aimed at understanding the values associated with the local cultural and natural and communitarian resources. It's deeply linked to the UN 2030 agenda, and it's deeply linked, it's developed in close relation with the local players. So in order to favor that intergenerational exchange that I was mentioning before, like cheesemakers, like entrepreneurial initiatives related to food, in this case to beer production, which is another traditional production characterized in this area, and with the agroecological activities like honey making, craftsmanship, and of course all the implications and the linkages with tourism. So basically, these youth coming from both France and Italy, they meet and they formulate common proposal in a participative manner to address to community leaders in order to facilitating them to comply with the future generation demand and expectations. Last point is this one, impacts, achievements, future developments. Basically what we did and what we aim to do. Here a few numbers of these initiatives. We developed three till now, three editions starting 2018. You see here some of the numbers which are to us very promising in terms of excuse me, in terms of people taking part and in terms of the capacity to involve the local stakeholders in an area, again, which is, as you can easily figure, quite fragmented into multiple communities being in the mountains. Achievements. We had a very good, more than our expectation, achievements in presenting this initiative, in having recognized this initiative in many occasions in Italy and in other countries, in other contexts as well. It was at the base of a workshop titled Empowering Communities, Creativity for Welfare and Social Innovation. And it was somehow the startup of a new program that we are going to launch in January 2021 together with UNESCO on young or youth engagement through the UNESCO designations. In this case, I mentioned it, I wrote here UNESCO district, which is quite a theoretical concept, but it's related to the logic of making different UNESCO designations working together, creating synergies. In this case, intangible cultural heritage that I mentioned before, together with the Biosphere Reserve, together with the World Heritage sites. We have three different World Heritage sites in this area. Impacts. So the impacts are very promising. We realized that through this initiative, which was born like very informally, as I tried to present, we noticed a strong capacity to facilitate cross-sectorial dialogue and cross-generational dialogue, to adopt alternative narratives of community values, to enhance the collaboration among various stakeholders. Let me say that collaboration among stakeholders in this area is very weak traditionally. And we also noticed a revived capacity to set up international cooperation initiatives, meaning fundraising through international schemes of cooperation between France and Italy. Of course, fundraising is essential. Some activities are in progress, so they were generated by these first editions of the youth camp. We are launching now. We already launched a new program which is titled Yes, Youth Empowerment for Sustainability. You see the Instagram screenshot. And we are also, we have been requested to implement similar initiatives in other communities, in other territories. Like we have in our agenda in March, one in the sacred mountain of Crea, which is a World Heritage site still close to the area, related to pilgrimage, of course. And we moved also to the Eastern Alps to implement a similar activity related to the art of dry stone walling technique. Since now we are facing the impossibility to meet, we developed something digital. We called it Youth Power. It's a platform to, as you can read, to enhance somehow the possibility of youth to meet and to interact through a digital experience that we launched actually yesterday, and which is again very promising. We are trying to make a good use of technology, of gaming also, in order to involve people in all this, even with all the limitations that we are now facing. So basically, that's it. As I said, I'm talking from Italy. We are red zone, so remember to wear a mask. Thank you for your attention.